Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going digital, diving into Cambodia's digital enterprise landscape.
Sounds exciting.
It is. We'll be focusing on this Enterprises Go digital program, a roadmap of sorts, launched by the Cambodian government.
So we're trying to understand how Cambodia is supporting its businesses in this digital age.
Exactly. Uncovering the challenges, the opportunities, the whole nine yards, all from this insightful government document.
Sounds comprehensive.
It is. Now, for anyone who follows the Southeast Asian digital scene, you might already know Cambodia's digital economy is pretty vibrant.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, e-commerce, food delivery, online travel, they're all doing quite well. The document even mentions similar digital pushes in countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, and Thailand.
Right, so Cambodia is not alone in this.
Not at all. But what's interesting here, and the expert can probably speak to this better, is that Cambodia views this digital economy as more than just, e-commerce.
You're absolutely right. It's not just about the tech and the transactions. Their Cambodia Digital Economy and Society Policy Framework 2021-2035 actually emphasizes the broader picture.
Okay, elaborate on that.
Well, they really see it as like this driving force behind social and cultural changes too, like widespread digital technology use is changing their society. And this Enterprises Go Digital program is actually part of that larger 2021-2035 vision.
So it's about transforming society as a whole.
Exactly.
Now, one thing that really stood out to me in the document was just how important these small and medium-sized enterprises are. We're talking about SMEs here.
Yeah.
They make up almost 98% of all businesses in Cambodia.
Wow.
They contribute 58% to the economy, and hold on to this, they provide a whopping 73% of jobs.
That's a significant chunk.
Huge, right?
Yeah.
So getting these SMEs on board with digital transformation, that's got to be mission critical for Cambodia, wouldn't you say?
All right, absolutely. It's all about those SMEs. But I think it's also important to, define what we mean by SME. How does Cambodia define that? Because it can vary.
Good point, yeah.
The most common definition, I think, comes from this notification number 360s.
Okay.
And they use things like employee count and annual turnover as criteria. And it can get quite specific, depending on the sector you're talking about. Agriculture, industry, services, commerce, they all have their own specific definitions.
So it's not one size fits all. They're being very specific about how they define and therefore support businesses.
Precisely.
But I imagine there are challenges to getting everyone on board with this digital adoption, right?
Oh, absolutely. And the report, it's pretty honest about these hurdles, I have to say. They've outlined 6 major challenges that Cambodian enterprises are facing. The first one, I think a lot of people listening can probably relate to, is this lack of knowledge and awareness when it comes to digital technology.
Yeah, keeping up with tech is a challenge for everyone.
It really is.
So what else is on their list of challenges?
Well, close to that first one is this lack of skills to actually, manage, maintain, and develop these digital technologies.
Yeah.
And it's a big deal.
Yeah. Cybersecurity, data analytics, troubleshooting, it's a whole other level.
Exactly. And without these skills, digital tools can become more of a burden than a benefit. They can cause more problems than they solve.
That's when you start seeing those eye rolls.
Yeah.
Another software update.
Right.
But it makes me wonder, if businesses are struggling, are the digital service providers, like the ones creating these solutions, are they struggling too?
That's such a great point. It's definitely a two-way street.
Right.
Digital service providers, they need to make sure their products are, user-friendly, accessible, especially for businesses that are just starting out on their digital journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially when we're talking about that reluctance to actually use digital technology, which is the third challenge.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
I mean, it's counterintuitive, right?
It is.
But the report actually quotes the ASEAN Digital Master Plan 2025. And in it, 35% of respondents said that their main reason for not using digital services was because of a lack of trust.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, trust is fundamental.
It is.
And you can understand why some businesses would worry about things like cybersecurity risks, data privacy, even just, the reliability of digital platforms in general. And then there's the generational aspect.
Of course.
Older business owners might be less comfortable with new technology in general.
Yeah, so we've got a knowledge gap, a skills gap, and now a trust gap.
A triple threat.
It's starting to become clear why this digital transformation is such a big deal for Cambodia. What are some of the other challenges they're facing?
Well, the fourth challenge actually highlights the need for, teamwork.
Okay.
It's this lack of cooperation, particularly between the government and the private sector. So the government, they've created initiatives, like they have this thing called the Cambodia Data Exchange Platform.
CamDX, right?
Yeah, the CamDX. It allows for secure data exchange between organizations.
It's a great platform.
It is.
Yeah.
But they need to get the private sector fully on board, participating.
It's not just about building it, it's about using it.
Exactly.
What's the fifth challenge then?
Well, the fifth challenge is almost like a communication breakdown.
Okay.
It's this disconnect between businesses that need digital solutions and the providers, the people actually creating them. Imagine it like a marketplace.
Okay.
Where the buyers and sellers can't find each other.
I get it.
Providers don't always know who to target, and businesses often don't even know what solutions exist.
And that lack of awareness extends to government support too.
Exactly. A lot of businesses, even when helpful resources are available, they're just not aware of them.
Yeah, it's a communication challenge.
It is. And then, of course, we come to that sixth and final challenge.
Hit me.
And this one's a tough one. Lack of capital investment.
Money.
Always, right.
Yeah, it's
especially tough for startups or newer businesses. They might have all these amazing ideas.
right.
But without the funds, they can't put them into action. New hardware, software, training, it all adds up.
Yeah, it's a big hurdle.
It really is.
So we've got a pretty good grasp of the hurdles that Cambodia is facing. But how are they planning to actually overcome these challenges?
Well, that's where this Enterprises Go Digital program comes in, right? It looks like they have a pretty comprehensive strategy in place.
Let's dive into that then. Let's see how they're tackling these challenges head on.
The first activity, it's all about the basics. Promoting the digitalization of, fundamental business and marketing functions. It's about laying a strong foundation before moving on to those more advanced digital integrations.
So before they jump into the deep end, they're making sure businesses have those essential digital tools and knowledge. What does that look like in practice?
Well, they've got a three-stage process.
Okay.
First, they assess the digital readiness of each business.
So like a personalized digital checkup.
Exactly. They use a detailed questionnaire. It helps them understand where each business stands in their, digital journey.
That's smart. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Yeah.
They're really tailoring the support.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what comes after that digital assessment?
The second stage is all about creating a digital solutions roadmap. So identifying those specific digital tools that would benefit each business.
Based on their unique needs.
Exactly. Their type, their size, matching the right tool to the right job.
I like that.
And then the final stage of this first activity, it's all about addressing that skills gap.
Of course. Yeah.
They develop a digital training roadmap. So it outlines the skills and the training needed for each business to effectively use the tools from their roadmap.
So they're not just giving them the tools or showing them how to use them. That's great.
Exactly.
They even have a specific example in the report, a digital training roadmap for the food manufacturing subsector. Very hands-on, very tailored support.
Very much so.
Now, what about the second core activity? What are they focusing on there?
Well, the second activity recognizes that different sectors, they have unique needs and they require different solutions. So this activity focuses on research and development of sector-specific digital transformation plans.
Makes sense. A food processing plant's going to have very different needs than, say, a tourism operator.
Absolutely. And for this, they've actually developed this pyramid model for prioritizing support. It's based on both business size and sector.
Okay, now you've got me intrigued. Pyramid model, tell me more.
Okay, so picture a pyramid, right, with 4 levels. At the very bottom, the base of the pyramid, are those micro and small businesses that need basic digital tools. Things like transportation, delivery services, accommodation, the essentials.
So that's where they're focusing on the broadest level of support, helping businesses get online, get formalized.
Exactly. Then, moving up, we find SMEs with the potential to sell their products internationally through e-commerce platforms.
So those businesses that could thrive in the global marketplace?
Precisely.
What about the third level? Who are they targeting there?
The third level, we have more established firms, moderate growth firms. They're in Cambodia's traditional manufacturing sectors, so things like food processing, garment production, bicycle manufacturing. They've got a foothold, but they need those digital tools to enhance their efficiency and, stay competitive.
It's not just fostering new businesses. It's about helping those existing industries adapt to the digital world.
Absolutely.
Okay, take me to the peak of the pyramid. Who's at the top?
At the very top, we have those high-growth firms, primarily in services, IT, professional services. These are the innovators, the ones with the potential to become like leaders in the digital economy.
It's a really clever way to visualize their strategy. They're clearly taking a targeted approach, recognizing that different businesses need different types of support.
Exactly.
So we've got a strong foundation with the first activity, a targeted approach with the second. What's the third core activity all about?
The third activity, it's about addressing that communication gap we talked about earlier. They're developing this enterprises go digital platform. It's going to be like a central hub for all things digital.
A digital one-stop shop. I like it.
Exactly. And it's designed to connect digital service providers with businesses based on their needs and their digital readiness.
So it's like a matchmaker, helping businesses find the right tools and solutions. What kind of features can we expect to see on this platform?
Oh, it's going to be packed with features. You'll have information on digital readiness assessments, listings of, qualified digital products and services. They're even planning a pre-approved solutions feature.
Oh, tell me more about that.
So experts will actually vet and recommend trusted digital tools. So it's all about building trust and confidence among businesses, especially those who might be a little hesitant.
That's a great way to overcome that trust barrier.
Yeah.
So you got the platform, you got the matchmaking. What's the fourth activity in their strategy?
The fourth activity brings a touch of the real world to the digital realm. They're establishing these physical enterprises go digital hubs across the country. So it's a space where businesses can get personalized information, consultations, even hands-on training on digital transformation.
So it's blending the digital and the physical. It's like a community center for the digital age.
Exactly.
Businesses can connect with experts, learn from each other. I love that.
It's a brilliant approach. And to make sure everyone knows about these incredible resources, their fifth core activity focuses on nationwide marketing and awareness-raising campaigns.
Of course, got to spread the word.
Exactly. Remember we talked about how many businesses were just unaware of government digital support? These campaigns are designed to change that.
Crucial piece of the puzzle.
It is, and they're planning a multi-pronged approach, from developing targeted outreach strategies to creating engaging content for the digital platform. They also want to showcase success stories.
Nothing like a good success story.
Right. Show, don't tell. Real-world examples of how these tools can make a difference.
I agree. It's about showing businesses how digital tools can transform their operations, help them thrive.
Okay, so we've explored the 5 core activities of their strategy. But what about the underlying factors, the things that will determine the success of this digital push? What's underpinning all of this?
That's where the enablers come in. The report highlights 3 key enablers that are absolutely essential for Cambodia's digital transformation: existing legal frameworks and support mechanisms, digital infrastructure, and of course, talent development.
Let's unpack those then.
That's good.
Starting with the legal frameworks. What does that landscape look like in Cambodia right now?
Well, Cambodia already has a robust set of policies and laws in place. They're ready to support businesses in this digital age. They've got the Cambodia Digital Economy and Society Policy Framework 2021-2035.
Quite a mouthful.
It is. They've got e-commerce laws, consumer protection laws, and specific initiatives like the Skill Development Fund and the SME Bank. So the legal foundation is definitely there. Sounds like they've got the legal side covered.
Yeah.
But what about the physical infrastructure? Can Cambodia actually support this widespread digital transformation?
Oh, absolutely. The report paints a very encouraging picture of Cambodia's digital connectivity. They've got 19.6 million mobile phone subscribers, 17.5 million mobile internet users, 13.3 million internet connections, and it's all growing rapidly. So the digital backbone is there.
That's reassuring. They've got that strong foundation to support their ambitions. But, technology is only part of the equation. What about the human element?
That's where talent development comes in. They recognize that digital skills and leadership are crucial for driving innovation and ensuring this whole strategy is successful in the long term.
But we talked earlier about the skills gap. How do they plan to bridge that and make sure their workforce is ready?
They're investing heavily in education and training programs, particularly through those enterprises go digital hubs we talked about earlier. But, they are realistic. The report acknowledges that digital literacy levels in Cambodia are still relatively low, so there's work to be done, but they seem to be on the right track.
So they're being proactive, building the skills and knowledge needed for this digital future. But how will they know if this huge effort is working? How do they measure success?
That's a great question, and they actually address it in the report. They've developed a comprehensive monitoring and evaluation plan to track their progress, make sure they're accountable.
I like that. So what does that look like? What metrics are they tracking?
Well, one of the primary indicators is going to be the number of enterprises actually visiting those Enterprises Go digital hubs. They're hoping to see a big increase in hub visits because of those awareness campaigns.
Makes sense. If businesses are engaging with the program, using the resources, it's a good sign. What else are they looking at?
They'll also be monitoring the number of pre-approved digital solutions and services available on the Enterprises Go digital platform. So are they attracting quality digital service providers? Is there a good marketplace for solutions?
So it's about quality as well as quantity.
Exactly. And when it comes to training and skills development, one of their key goals is to provide digital training to 4,000 enterprises.
Wow.
And at least 25% of those businesses have to be women-owned.
That's fantastic.
So they'll be tracking the number of enterprises receiving training and the number of users who are actually using these digital products and services.
I love that they're prioritizing inclusivity, making sure women entrepreneurs benefit.
Absolutely. They're also tracking the percentage of digital solutions and services on the platform that are actually created by women.
That's great. It's clear they're committed to making this program inclusive. Now, we've talked about monitoring, but what about potential roadblocks? What could derail this whole digital transformation?
Well, one of the big ones is the rapid pace of technological change. What's cutting edge today could be obsolete tomorrow.
The classic keeping up with the Joneses of tech.
Exactly. And it's a real risk. The technologies they're introducing could become outdated before they even have a chance to make a real impact.
So how do they plan to mitigate that risk? How do they stay ahead of the curve?
Well, they're emphasizing the need for continuous research and development.
Constantly learning and adapting.
Exactly. They need to evolve with the digital landscape.
What other potential risks did they highlight?
Another big one is the potential for a shortage of qualified digital service providers. If they can't attract enough companies to develop those high-quality digital solutions, the whole program could be limited.
It's a supply and demand issue.
Exactly. And to address this, they're planning to invest in training and capacity-building programs for digital service providers. They want to make sure there's a steady stream of skilled professionals.
It's a smart move, nurturing the supply side of the digital ecosystem. Okay, we've talked about monitoring, we've talked about risks. What else stood out to you about this program?
One thing that really impressed me was their emphasis on gender mainstreaming. It's not just a box to tick, they're really integrating it into every aspect of the program.
Always a good sign. Tell me more.
They're committed to developing a concrete action plan for gender mainstreaming across all their activities.
That was baked into the cake, not just the icing.
Exactly. It's about equal access, making sure women entrepreneurs have the same resources, training, and opportunities to benefit from the program.
Leveling the playing field, empowering women to be leaders in the digital economy.
Precisely. And they're aiming for at least 25% of businesses receiving training to be women-owned.
Excellent.
And they're even tracking the percentage of digital solutions and services on the platform that are created by women. So they're measuring their progress.
It's really good to see. So we've covered a lot of ground, the challenges, the strategies, monitoring risks, inclusivity. What's your overall impression of this Enterprises Go Digital program?
What strikes me is the comprehensiveness of it all.
Yeah.
They've thought about this from every angle. From that big picture vision to the smallest details, they're not just throwing money at a problem, it's a very deliberate, very strategic, multifaceted approach.
It's impressive they've really done the research, identified the key challenges, and crafted a plan to tackle them head on.
And what's even more encouraging is that they're acknowledging the potential pitfalls. They're not shying away from the risks,
Right.
They're being proactive, looking for ways to mitigate them. They understand this is a long-term journey.
It's about creating lasting change, not just quick fixes.
Exactly. And while it's still early days, I'm cautiously optimistic about Cambodia's prospects. They have a vision, a solid plan, a dedicated team. It's a story worth following.
Cambodia is definitely on my radar now. We've explored the how of Cambodia's digital transformation. But what about the why? What's the potential impact of this digital push? What's the big payoff?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why is Cambodia putting so much effort into this? What are the potential benefits for their economy, their society, their place in the world?
Let's speculate responsibly, Ann. What are some of the most promising outcomes of this digital push?
Well, one of the most significant potential benefits has to be economic growth.
Makes sense.
By empowering businesses, especially those SMEs, to embrace these digital tools and strategies, Cambodia could see a surge in productivity, efficiency, even competitiveness.
And that would ultimately benefit the whole economy.
Yeah.
What sectors do you see being impacted the most?
We've already talked about e-commerce, food delivery, online travel, but it goes beyond that.
Give me some examples.
Imagine traditional industries like agriculture and manufacturing leveraging these digital tools. They could optimize their operations, improve supply chain management, access new markets.
It's modernizing these existing industries as much as creating new ones.
Exactly.
What about job creation? Do you see potential there?
Absolutely. As the digital economy expands, you're going to see new job opportunities. Software development, digital marketing, data analytics, cybersecurity, all those in-demand fields.
Those are often higher skilled, higher paying jobs, which could have a positive ripple effect, creating a more prosperous future for everyone.
Exactly. And let's not forget, Cambodia's digital transformation isn't happening in a vacuum. They're part of a dynamic and rapidly growing Southeast Asian region.
Right, it's a regional ecosystem of innovation.
Exactly. By embracing these digital tools and strategies, Cambodia can position itself as a key player in the regional and even global digital economy.
Attracting foreign investment, participating in global value chains, the possibilities are there.
They are.
So far, we focus on the economic benefits, which are significant. But what about the social impact? How could this affect the lives of everyday Cambodians?
One of the most profound impacts could be increased access to information and essential services.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Healthcare, education, financial services, all of these could become more accessible through digital platforms.
Exactly, especially for people in rural areas who might have limited access to traditional services.
It's that empowerment too, right?
Absolutely. Digital tools can give people a voice, connect them with communities, enable them to participate more fully in society.
It's leveling the playing field, creating opportunities for everyone. But we have to be realistic. There are potential downsides too, right? What challenges should Cambodia be prepared for?
Oh, for sure. One of the biggest ones is the digital divide. While they've made progress with infrastructure, there are still many people, particularly in rural areas, who lack access to the internet or digital devices.
And if they don't address that, it could create a two-tiered society. Some benefit from the digital revolution, others are left behind.
Exactly. Bridging that digital divide needs to be a top priority. Another challenge is cybersecurity. As more businesses and individuals go online, they become more vulnerable to cyber attacks, data breaches, all sorts of online threats.
Cybersecurity is definitely a major concern these days. What other potential pitfalls should they be aware of?
Job displacement is another one. As businesses automate and adopt new tech, some traditional jobs could become obsolete.
It's a common concern with technological advancement. How can they manage that?
It's not about stopping progress, but managing it carefully.
Right.
Cambodia needs to invest in reskilling and upskilling programs to help workers adapt, acquire those skills needed for the digital future.
Being proactive, preparing their workforce for the jobs of tomorrow.
Exactly.
Any other challenges we need to consider?
One more, and it's a tough one. It's about striking the right balance, fostering innovation and implementing regulations.
It's a delicate balance.
It is. You want to encourage entrepreneurship and technological advancement, but you also need to protect consumers and make sure these digital technologies are used ethically and responsibly.
It's a challenge a lot of countries are facing.
It is. Too much regulation stifles innovation, but too little can lead to all sorts of problems down the line.
Finding that sweet spot is key.
Absolutely. Creating a thriving digital economy while protecting citizens' interests.
This has been a really insightful look into Cambodia's digital landscape. Challenges, strategies, potential benefits, risks. We've covered it all. What's the key takeaway for our listeners today?
I think the key takeaway is that Cambodia is at a crossroads. They've got a bold vision for the future, and they're making real steps to make it happen. The success of their digital transformation will depend on overcoming challenges, seizing those opportunities, and making sure everyone benefits from this digital revolution.
It's a story of ambition, innovation, and the pursuit of a more inclusive and prosperous future.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into Cambodia's digital journey.
It's been a pleasure.
And to all our listeners, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time for another deep dive.